So we did a few pieces of content at PAX Australia and the Melbourne Esports Open last year. Kicking off this year, we're here today at the Australian Open Tennis. They have a $500,000 Fortnite competition across 2 different days. We're asking people in the industry and players, what brings people to a live event? It's very common that people say who are outside the industry that gamers don't like to go outside. They don't like to go to things. It's been very proven all over the world with thousands of people going to meetups and hundreds of thousands of people going to esports events that gamers do want to go out. But I want to ask people who work in the industry, what brings people out of their bedrooms?
Alright guys, I'm Robert Munday. I'm currently a talent manager at Click. I'm also a broadcaster, specialises in commentary across many different esports titles. So in my opinion, reasons that gamers come to these events, one is to meet other gamers. I think that's a very big part of getting people outside of the bedroom is actually getting them to the events and getting to meet people that they've been playing online with, or maybe people they've spoken to with. I can count probably 10 times already today that I've met people who I've been speaking with online but finally get to put faces to names. So I think that's really good. 2 would definitely be like the atmosphere. I think the atmosphere here is massive for anyone who has a passion for gaming, because there's not many places like this you can actually go and have these conversations and actually care about either the game or the personalities or whatever it might be that brings you the love to gaming that you have. It's cool just to have everyone at the one spot, and definitely the passion is just, it's something that is unmatched. You know, people come together for sport, and sport's been something that's been obviously watched for like thousands of years now, but esports in their development, I think there is a huge misconception obviously with how people are comfortable, you know, just face to face and being a bit more of a front-facing kind of personality. But the atmosphere and the passion for gaming is something that far outweighs just coming to watch a sport team or an individual. So I think that's very much something that people are willing to get out of their rooms for.
I'm Alex Walker. I'm the editor at Kotaku Australia, and before that I worked for Games on Net and the ABC, where I covered esports, competitive gaming, general games and tech overall. There's this big misconception that gamers, and this is from all demographics from under 12 to 50 or over, male and female, that they don't want to go out, they don't want to spend money, but that's actually not really the case. There was a really great entertainment and outlook study. It's done by PwC every year, and they were looking at not just esports events, but gaming events in terms of the broader entertainment industry. And one of the things they found as part of that was that gamers really like to spend, but they like to spend on experiences that they can't replicate in their own homes. So like a really good example of this that appeals is Galaxy's Edge, which is sort of the Star Wars add-on that they've made to Disneyland. If you look at Nintendo Park or Nintendo Land, which is being added to Universal Studios in Osaka, you know, those are things that you can't get that experience anywhere else. Another example of that is all of the gaming orchestras. So they had, Final Fantasy, they've obviously had Pokemon, and a lot of those live experiences that draw people back into the game after they've had it. Now, things like, meetups, people will come and, they'll go out because they can actually interact with a lot of their fans, a lot of their heroes in real life. Now, the reason why people still have some of the stigma, of course, is, the reality is, their wages haven't increased for several years. A lot of people don't have more discretionary income now than they did, 3 or 4 years ago. So they're being frugal with their money. It's not that they don't want to spend it, they just want to get value from it.
I'm Justin Tate, or Ultimate Sacrifice, from In The Zone Gaming. We run the most competitively entertaining events in Australia. What brings people to events? Probably the community. So being there with your friends, seeing them in real life, and the vibe you get in the room when you're actually playing games together locally. It's a lot more fun when you can actually feel how someone else feels and you can see the expression on their face, not just hearing it over a microphone through the internet.